Got the holster on my ankle here. This Telor Tactical. I'm going to give it a go and see how long it lasts in this position on a sprint. Alright, just walked back after running the whole way. So far, looks like it's mostly stayed in place at a dead sprint. It has shifted down a little bit. It has contoured a little bit this way, but for the most part, stayed in place and the gun has not even started to come out at all. So that's a good thing. Sometimes I have to reapply this thing a couple times and cinch it down really tight to get it to stay even tighter than what it was, and I suspect if I get it that way it won't move at all. It just takes 3 or 4 times for me to get it that way. I could have kept running and I feel it definitely would have stayed in place. So to me, I think this is a pass for duty and definitely a good holster. I'll be doing the second part of this review inside and showing you the insides of it and talking about the comfort of it. Alright, here is the second half of my Telor Tactical ankle holster review. This is the Ankle Light LE. As you saw in the first half, I was able to run with this on my ankle and the gun never came out and the holster never shifted around. It did ride down a little bit on my ankle, but I don't think even then I had the magic touch that day. Even then it still stayed in place where I could easily get to it and the gun did not come out. Sometimes it seems like if you have just the magic touch, I don't know what it is in terms of making the Velcro touch here just right with the angle that's at. They claim with this design here, this curved design, it's meant to fit the curvature of your leg. So I guess maybe if you have it at just the right place and you make the Velcro latch just where it's supposed to be and where it's just tight enough, it shouldn't even move down your slide down your leg, because there's days I've put it on at work and it stays in place the whole time. Well, I'm going to get into a little more detail here about it. Not that there's much to say or show, but I'll show you what I can. Again, I'm not some expert YouTuber or nothing like that. I'm just trying to do reviews on things that aren't covered as heavily to help other people out in similar situations that I've been in when looking for specific things. There's a million reviews of, say, the Glock 19, so I'm obviously never going to do one of those. But again, this is something I'm trying to do to help people out in the situation I've been in, where I've been trying to find good reviews or detailed reviews, even though my footage ain't the best, that at least kind of show me what I need to know. So that's what I'm going to try to do here with this anyways. But this here is the shell that holds the gun here is kind of a neoprene material. And then this is kind of a lightweight nylon mesh material. You flip it around on the inside here, and it's kind of this mesh material. Feels almost rubbery, and it's meant to make it where the holster breathes and your leg doesn't sweat to death while wearing it. And it seems to do a pretty good job of that so far. Make it where it also has insulation between your gun and sweat from coming through if you are to sweat to get to the gun as well. But you don't really sweat much with this. As you can see here, it almost looks kind of like a blue spongy material on the inside, and it feels different. It feels almost like a spongy material. It's supposed to be some kind of medical mesh. The guy that made this said he used. But anyway, this holster is pretty comfortable. Every now and then, a couple guys I work with said they thought this would be uncomfortable, and for the most part it's not. It's actually pretty comfortable. There are a couple times where maybe I just had the holster on really tight that this did start to become uncomfortable after several hours of wearing it, you know, over halfway through the shift, but still nothing that wasn't tolerable. You know, not as soft or comfortable as sheepskin on some of the other holsters that I've seen, but this breathes a lot better than that does as well. So your ankle isn't sweating, so that's what I like about it, or your calf or whatever, that part of your leg that's against this. So in that way, in that aspect, it's more comfortable than the sheepskin. However, sometimes if you put it on a little too tight, it can, make your skin a little sore, but nothing too bad. And that's only if you have it on really tight. Sometimes I have the tendency to over tighten things. But anyway, and it has a little snap to secure the gun in. You saw the gun in there actually when I did the review while I was running, doing the demonstration there. So you don't need me to do all that, but I'm right-handed, but this thing actually breaks fairly easy. I'm just not used to doing it this way with my left hand in a way it's not with my thumb in the way it's angled. Again, I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I don't have the camera stand and all that. But anyway, so I just thought I'd finish by saying that this is a really good holster. It's really comfortable. It's definitely something I like. My only complaint with it is that they didn't make a calf strap with it, and I feel like they could have done that to make it better. I actually met the owner once. He was at a local gun event, and he was marketing some of the newer things he has, belly band and inside the waistband holsters, which seem to be pretty comfortable as well. I haven't tried the belly band, but I have tried the inside the waistband holster just for a brief period of time. For a little bit of time I tried it on, it felt comfortable. But anyway, and I asked him why they didn't make I wish they made a calf strap for this, and he claimed that a lot of people didn't want one. They wanted this minimalist approach, which I understand, but what's wrong with having options? Not most, but a lot of ankle holsters have the option to use the calf strap, but it's not mandatory. It says it's an option to use it, and I like to have it, but sometimes I have more an issue with the gun riding down over time. Again, that doesn't always happen with this one if I get it on right, nice and tight and snug, and get that magic touch, get it in that sweet spot where the curvature of the holster, comes around just right. But I'd like to have a calf strap option with this. He said he'd make me one if I sent him in my holster. He'd I guess, make a hole or an attachment to put a calf strap, and send it back to me. But it seems like a headache. I got to do without this holster for however long, and use it a lot. So I probably won't do that, especially since it stays in place for the most part. But it would be nice to have that option. Great holster. Definitely did what I needed to do. Maintains control of the gun. Will everybody like it? Will it be for them? No, maybe not. But for me, I think it does a great job doing what it's supposed to do. Unlike the Telor, unlike the Remora ankle holster that couldn't even hold the gun in place while running without losing the gun. So I'm glad this did a much better job, and I'm glad that it's one of the most comfortable ankle holsters I've worn. The only one that compares in comfort is the Galco ankle light. It's comfortable, but it has the sheepskin, so definitely in the summer it makes your legs sweat. It causes your leg to sweat there a lot more. And the material, I like this material better. It seems to, doesn't feel as stiff. So that's one thing I like about it. But each thing has their ups and downs. The ankle light had the calf strap like I'd like to have. But again, this is what I've been using to carry on my ankle. More than the ankle light, which I also have. If there's any requests, I guess I can do a review on that, but I'm sure there's plenty of information out there on that one. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped with any questions or information you need to know about this holster. Again, this is the Telor Tactical Ankle LE. They make another one as well, but this is the Ankle LE, and so far I'm very impressed with it. go ahead and bring the camera down to my ankle here. So far, it seems to have stayed in place for the most part. Kind of has the same. It's went a little bit forward, or it's still leaning forward like it was. It wasn't as far back or up like before I ran. But since I took off sprinting, it hasn't moved. So it stayed in place. So I think that says a lot for how much this thing will stay in place.